So, before we get into the story, let me tell you a little bit about where I work. I work at this little garden center in New Jersey. It's called the Morganville Flower Farm, and funny enough, it's actually right across the street from my apartment, so I literally just walk there. It's the dream commute. It's laid out like this. You got this big main greenhouse, that consists of all your annuals, your honey, your hay bales, your lawn furniture. I hate lawn furniture, by the way. And Jesus. And other assorted items. Plus, it's where all the employees are, or where they can sit. Excuse me. And then you've got this side tent, which mostly, at least for now, holds all of our roses and is actually our display area for the soil. Now you got a couple of stands where you've got some assorted flowers there. You got your cart area to the right, and in the middle, in the front, you've got this little, cashier shack. It's really cute. I do like it. And then to the side, you got all these little tents that house all of our perennials, which if you don't know, an annual, you plant it for a season, it's gone, you're done, right? And a perennial is something that comes back every year. So now that you know how it's laid out, where it is, let me tell you about a couple of the standouts that work there. First of all, the oldest guy, I'm not going to say his name for anonymity reasons, duh. But I kind of picture him as my work dad, because unfortunately, like many kids, I didn't grow up with one, Trump dumping aside. But, he's really got a lot of knowledge, he's got a lot of life experience. He's a sweetheart, even though I can hardly understand what he's saying half the time, so take that as you will. Who else? Well, I would say my boss, actually. He's one of probably the only bosses that I respect. He is my only boss. This is kind of my first job. And, it's nice. It's pretty, I'll admit, the work is piss easy. Watering your flowers, unloading things from carts, pricing stuff. It's all pretty easy work, if I'm honest. But, $15 an hour for pretty easy stuff, it's a nice gig. But anyway, back to my boss. So, his name is Jimmy Dwyer. If you're watching this, Jimmy, somehow, some way. Hi. When can I come back to work, please, man? I need some work, man, please. Anyway, let me tell you about a typical work day there. I would typically get there about 5, 4 to 9, maybe 2 to 9. If I'm feeling a little frisky, because it's literally a walk across the street. I could get there at 9. It's not like he would care. I can get there a couple minutes late. I can slide by. Sorry, Jimmy, if you happen to be watching this. But you get in at 9. You sign in. You take your walkie-talkie if there is one there, and I typically just start my day just putting on my gloves and seeing what I can sweep up in the main retail area, which either is everything or nothing, depending on the day. But, Jimmy would normally call me over to start me on a task, and I would do it, I'd say, relatively quickly. I'm no Usain Bolt at this stuff, but it's pretty easy, and I can get it done in a decent amount of time. So, you typically just go around doing some tasks, doing some pretty easy tasks. I'm a laborer at the farm, which is basically the hired muscle, or the grunt. It's funny, but we're called laborers, but other garden centers call them grunts. Bottom bitches probably. But I would typically do a bunch of tasks until about 2 to 3, maybe 4. And that was my typical day. The farm's open from 9 to 6, so pretty good day, pretty easy day. And I would just walk right back across the street, little lunchbox in hand, and I would just go about my merry day, or the rest of it. Funny enough, we do have a employee uniform. Let me get that. Now, this was my first employee T-shirt. As you can see, it's very, very worn out. I've worn this thing out, but it does make my arms look big. With the tightened, worn out appearance. So I'm not too banged up about it. But that's what a normal one looks like. Nice and dark green. You probably can't tell because it's fucking yellow. But anyway, other than that would be my typical day. But recently it has been getting quite slow. You ever have just a really slow shift and you just need to find a way to burn all the time away until you can go home? Yeah, my way of doing that was just sweeping. Just sweeping. Behind this little tent, we had a bunch of push brooms, your typical, regular broom, and a dustpan. And then by the employee area, we had a push sweeper. And it was way too tedious to just grab a broom and or a dustpan, and just sweep all the stuff up. So, guess what I did? I have probably spent at least 100 hours sweeping that place. I mean, keep in mind it's all concrete floors, and I'm pushing, and it's this little push sweeper that has this little brush that spins, and it, collects all the stuff. I would try to burn my time with that, and it got to the point where I just got sick of sweeping, like everyone does. I was sweeping that concrete so much it would have turned into a marble floor by now. It's probably just smooth. You could eat off of that thing. It was so clean. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. Little yap sesh over. Now time for a little life update. It has been 4 years since I last uploaded, for all two of you counting. But, well, I'm 19 now. I'm a little bit more in shape. See the jawline a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I've moved twice. And yeah, that's honestly kind of it. And a couple family members have unfortunately passed away, so God rest the dead. But yeah, life, I'll be honest, hasn't been on the up and up. But you try to do it what you can and take one day at a time. That's really all you can do. Okay, yeah, that's definitely it. So, yeah. Maybe leave a like, subscribe if you don't mind. And, I'll see you in another video. Peace.